Good evening and welcome to Namhansan FC TV. I'm delighted you can join me for the latest football report. I've been presenting the Larry King Show for the past 25 years, but I must bring that to a swift conclusion. This is the end of an era, but as one door closes another one opens, and so I'm honored to be the new presenter for NFC TV. I look forward to bringing you weekly reports on my beloved Namhansan Football Club. Anyway, enough of me. I'm delighted to welcome back to the studio our glamorous reporter, Sarah.
Good evening, Larry. I'm delighted to be back with another football report. And may I add a warm congratulations for the timely ending of the Larry King Show. I can't believe your show lasted 25 years on TV. There are criminals serving a lesser time in prison.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry after those comments. So Sarah, have you been keeping a close eye on the World Cup?
Indeed I have, Larry. I've just arrived on the latest flight from Cape Town. You can catch up with my report from the latest German victory and all the other World Cup matches by visiting my blog on the Namhansan FC homepage. Let me tell you, Larry, I'm cream-crackered with all the traveling between games and studios. I haven't had a shower in days, and I can't remember the last time I had good night's sleep. So please forgive me for stinking out your lovely studio and try to ignore my red eyes and slurred speech.
Sarah, I perfectly understand your situation. You are the finest reporter in the business, and we are honored to be in your company this evening, albeit a stinny one.
Thank you, Larry. I just wish security was so understanding. Man, the trouble I had getting into the studio this evening.
If it helps to make you feel comfortable, I won't take a shower until the World Cup concludes, and I'll hit the whiskey heavy. So we'll both stink and our red eyes will charm the viewers.
Oh, thank you, Larry. That would make me feel much better.
So Sarah, despite all your travelling in South Africa, you managed to catch the Namhansan FC game.
Yes, Larry, I did. And it was well worth the long trip. I witnessed a game full of spectacular goals and incident.
Is that so?
Indeed. I would say that the Namhansan game would have graced any stadium at this year's World Cup.
I say.
I'm delighted to report the Namhansan 5-4 victory over a decent Kimchi FC side. This win extends Namhansan's winning run to over 2 years. This is a record for an Asian team.
Yes, Namhansan are a team to be respected.
The game was played in uncomfortable humid summer conditions, and the pitch resembled that of a bowl of porridge. But the play was as sweet and refreshing as a cool glass of orange juice.
So not so much champagne football, but more of an orange juice play from Namhansan.
Namhansan, playing in their changed kit of blue shirts, confronted a team consisting of Kimchi factory workers. The game was played over 100 minutes. And the record capacity crowd of 24 were entertained from the very first minute to the last. Namhansan showed a blend of Asian and European style of football with foreign imports. Andrew Smith and Steve Justice displaying a type of football early witnessed on Korean shores. The local media have dubbed Namhansan FC style to that of total world football. Of course referring to the Dutch total football of the 1970s.
Well, I must say, Smith looks like a throwback to the 1970s with his long flowing hair. I just wish he'd visit a hairdresser.
Thanks, Larry, but if I want your fashion tips, I'll ask. Anyway, back to the report. The first half was a disjointed effort from Namhansan, and they trailed 1-0 by the interval. One of the reasons for their indifferent first half performance was the number of changes made after 25 minutes. The defense looked particularly vulnerable and the passing wasn't up to much. There was much surprise around the ground with the omission of the Celtic connection, Smith and Justice from the starting lineup. The crowd grew restless as the game continued without the foreign favourites.
Smith and Justice certainly know how to please the crowd with the silky skills.
Indeed, And so with that in mind, both players entered the game after 25 minutes. They had an impact on the game, with Justice working hard in the middle, spraying pinpoint passes to fellow teammates. Smith led the line up front with great authority, winning headers and laying off the ball well. The Kimchi defense had their work cut out for the rest of the evening. They just couldn't deal with Smith's off-the-ball running and trickery. The towering figure of Steve Justice almost leveled the score from a header, but the ball managed narrowly miss the net. Despite the efforts of Andrew Smith and Steve Justice, Namhansan were a goal down at half-time. The second half saw some position changes encourage Namhansan to adopt a more attacking style. Mr. Kim caused problems down the right wing with his runs and link-up play with Smith. The pressure was beginning to tell on the Kimchi FC defense. Smith showed great strength and speed to beat two defenders, but his resulting shot hit the post. Smith then came close with a powerful header from a corner. This was just a taste of things to come, as 5 minutes later, Smith finally found the back of the net with a sweet strike. He hit the ball first time after connecting with a pass from Mr. Kim down the right wing. The keeper had no chance of saving it. Smith's strike made the score 1-1, and it gave the rest of the team the confidence to push forward. The goal was greeted with shouts of delight as the crowd chanted Smith's name from the stands. Within 10 minutes of Smith's goal, Namhansan added 3 more super goals to make the score 4-1 in favor of Namhansan.
Wow, that's a great comeback.
The Namhansan coach was confident of the home win, so he made a number of changes for the last 25 minutes. A total of 8 new players came off the bench in this bold move. However, these changes just upset the balance of the team, and as a result of terrible defending, Kimchi FC scored 3 goals to bring the score to 4-4. The home crowd were left stunned. Namhansan could have scored 2 more goals in the remaining 10 minutes if it wasn't for outstanding saves made by the Kimchi FC keeper from a low Smith shot and a half volley from Taeq. With minutes remaining, Namhansan went in search of a winner, and that honour went to Steve Justice. The tall Scottish player moved into a forward position. The ball was played out of defence, and as it fell from the sky, Justice hits it on the volley with his right foot. The ball found its way into the top corner of the net, with the keeper left helpless to stop Justice's thunderous shtick.
My goodness.
I simply don't have the words to do this goal any justice. Excuse the pun.
Oh, stop it, Sarah. You cracking me up.
Steve Justice's goal will be talked about for generations to come. His jail was of the highest quality, and reruns of it will be shown on football shows around the world. He hit the ball as it flew over his right shoulder. What makes it more amazing is that Steve Justice had a big toe injury and may thought he couldn't start the game.
How did the crowd react?
Well, have you seen that Nick ad?
Yes, I have.
Well, it was a bit like the reaction to the Italian player. There's also talk of a life-size statue being put outside the stadium.
My word. Steve Justice is certainly a legend among the Namhansan faithful. I'm sure he'll never have to buy a beer again in Namhansan.
It was a great comeback from a player with whom I did from the previous tournament. I guess the coach must take some credit for recalling Justice to the squad.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for that detailed report. I'm sure the viewers enjoyed it.
Thanks, Larry. Well, I'm off to the airport again. Back to Cape Town for the Dutch game. See you again, Larry.
Safe trip, Sarah. Please try to get some sleep and feel free to use the studio shower. Don't forget to visit Sarah's blog on the Namhansan homepage for all her latest reports. Oh, just before I go, my director has just informed me that Andrew Smith has been seen outside a hairdresser's. Hope everything goes well for him. That's all for now. Hope to see you again. Good night.